So, hello, welcome to the showcase. Where great stories come from great talented entertainers. We have them all. Interesting stories, behind the scenes, fun and frolics, as well as some awesome videos. I'd like you to please watch, click the thumbs up and subscribe for more great content. We can't do it without you. Today's guest, ladies and gents, is first one, an illusionist, magician, comedy. I'm not sure about comedy, but we can welcome Michael Diamond. Hello, Michael.
Hi, Sean. How are you?
Fantastic, and thanks for coming on the showcase, Michael. Where are you from?
I'm based in Liverpool.
Wow, what a great country.
Yeah, well, we do call ourselves, the independent state of Liverpool, don't we?
Yeah, there's been some of the best acts come from Liverpool, as well as comedians, of course, and I've worked with quite a few of them. Do you remember a comedian called Eddie Collington?
Eddie Collington lived round the corner from me.
Well, do you know what? I've often wondered if because he's sadly passed away, isn't he?
He has, yeah.
And he came on tour with me. Me and my wife, we was in Germany. We was doing the bases, and we only had a Ford Escort van, and Eddie had to sit in the back, so I had to kind of like push him into the passenger seat to get him in the back.
He wasn't a little guy, was he?
He wasn't, but what a gentleman! And I'm so pleasured so honoured to have worked with Eddie. He was a great comedian.
He was wonderful. Yeah.
He did suffer a bit with those tours in Germany though, because some of the squaddies was quite mean,
Really?
And he's not that kind of guy. He doesn't take favourable to hassle. So, but yeah, fantastic guy. When it comes to the captains and the admirals and the marshals parties, he was great. So let's get back down to you, Michael. Liverpool, what a lovely place. Can you tell the viewers what you do?
I do lots of different things because I do like, excuse the pun, I like variety in life. So
wow,
I started off as a magician, doing comedy magic really. When I was really young, I was doing impressions and comedy magic when I was really young, and then just dropped the impressions, went down the comedy magic route, children's entertainment, and then from there I started doing the illusions and the bigger stuff. And then I do some related things like escapes and stunts.
Wow.
And I've done panto and a couple of musicals and things like that. So the basis of what I do is magic, but I do like a bit of variety.
Do you do close-up, Michael?
I do close-up, yeah. Oh. I was resident close-up magician at TGI Fridays and Frankie and Benny's for about 6 years.
My God, that's awesome. And are you managed, or do you manage yourself?
I manage myself, and no sole agent either.
If you send me your details, how people can contact you, Michael, I'll put that on the edited video, so that'll be great.
Yeah, wonderful.
So let's talk about Michael Diamond. When did you first get started?
Well, I started doing shows when I was very young. I started doing magic when I was about 4, because my dad, although he wasn't a magician, he was an artist, but he had an interest in magic. And I used to watch David Nixon on the TV. I've given my age away there, aren't I? And then later Paul Daniels. So I was always interested and started doing shows quite young, talent competitions, charity shows, things like that. I think I did my first paid professional show when I was about 13.
Wow.
And I was with in Liverpool, we had a lot of touring road shows. Young entertainers who'd go around the clubs and things and do a variety show, and I was in a couple of those.
Wow. You're a member of the Magic Circle as well?
Not the Magic Circle in London. I've performed for them a couple of times, but I'm a member of Liverpool Mahatma Magic Circle, which is one of the oldest in the country, actually. It was founded in 1915.
That's awesome. And do you find that they help you in many different ways as an organisation?
Oh, they certainly did when I started.
Yeah.
I find magic clubs these days do struggle a little while. They don't get as many attendees as they used to because everything's online.
Mm.
But certainly when I first started, they were very, very helpful. There was quite a few professional magicians in the society, and they gave me tips. And as I say, I was doing shows for the Mahatma when I was
Mm.
15, 16. So
Wow.
just being in that environment of mixing with working professionals at
Yeah.
that young age really helped.
Have you done any TV work, Michael?
Not so much with the magic. I have a sort of like sideline of doing paranormal stuff, paranormal investigations, things like that.
Wow.
So I've done a few TV shows with the paranormal stuff, but not so much with the magic.
What's that about then? The paranormal stuff?
Well, ghost hunting and investigating fraudulent mediums, things like
Wow.
that. Mm.
Really? I bet that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's all linked in, really, anyway, isn't it? Because Houdini was doing that back in the 20s.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I do believe in ghosts, and I believe in spirits, and I believe in life after death. I'm just very dubious about some of the mediums that are out there.
Ah, yeah. I mean, Michael, I live in Thailand, and there's some great mediums out here, or they tell you, the Thai people are mad about getting the fortune told, and they believe it. They want to win the lottery, so they go to the temple, ask the Buddha to give them luck and all things like that. Now, I'm sadly not a believer, because I think when you pass away, you're finished. I don't think there's any such thing as feeling anybody or hearing from anybody, and we all have our own opinions on things like this.
Of course.
Why do you believe? What makes you believe, Michael?
I suppose that I was always brought up I was brought up Catholic, although I'm not religious in any
Right.
way. So, and at Christmas, particularly when the family got together, they'd always tell ghost stories, things like that. So I always had an interest in it.
Wow.
And I always wanted to see a ghost. But it took a long time, but it actually happened. I was in my 40s when I had my first paranormal experience. And it was almost like after that, the gates opened and 2 or 3 things happened to me. So, I'm a big believer in seeing is believing. So a few things happened to me that really made me think, well, actually, yes, there is something out there.
Wow. That's very interesting. I mean, I've met many people and I've been asked this question probably a million times, as you probably have as well, Michael. Have you ever seen a ghost? Have you ever experienced it? 99.9% of people say no. But let me ask you a question, Michael. I was in Cyprus once, and I cut a long story short, I passed out on the pavement, banged my head, and that was it. I was out like a light. I was rushed upstairs and laid on a bed, and I was asleep, but I saw this tunnel, and it was coming closer, and I saw angels and closer and closer. Then all of a sudden, I had electric shocks on me, and I woke up. Is that a dream, or is it, do you think, reality? A near-death experience?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Nobody knows. Nobody
Correct,
knows.
yeah.
I mean, it obviously is a near-death experience, but whether that tunnel of light and the angels was an actual thing that was happening, or it was some sort of a dream, or something in your subconscious, or some sort of genetic memory, or something like that, nobody knows. I mean, that's the thing. The only time you're going to know for sure is when you're dead.
Yeah, true. And that's something that I'll never forget, that experience. So I'm not sure whether it was a near death. I just had no adrenaline in my body whatsoever, and they had to pump it in quickly. I mean, I don't know if you can die from I don't know, but I certainly never. I woke up with the boom on my chest. Anyway, interesting that, Michael. Sorry to sideline you there.
No, that's okay.
I thought that was really good. Now, I've seen your videos for your illusion. Now, I think why you're never on television with that, I'll never know. It's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I think it's. I think illusions and things like that are better experienced live anyway.
Really?
Oh yeah, definitely. There is still a percentage of people out there who thinks, well, it's camera tricks, it's camera
Yes, true.
cuts, it's camera edits. So I think anything's better live. I think you go see a band, it's always going to be better live.
Well, it depends where you're sitting, because if you sit right at the back and you can't see anything, it's not.
Well, that is true, but it sounds good at
Yeah,
the back
it
still.
does.
So,
It-
you know, and the thing is, I think TV magic has changed a lot anyway.
Mm.
The style of it is very different now to how it was, you know,
Yes.
20 years ago, 25 years ago. So, but
I've seen a
yeah,
few things, Michael, on Britain's Got Talent and X Factor where they turn themselves into an animal. Is that an illusion, or is that magic, or is it AI?
well, no, it's not AI. It's
Oh,
everything that they do on Britain's Got Talent is live. It's genuine. I mean, sometimes the cuts that they use can be a bit unkind, you know. But no, it's all real. It's all live. There's no AI.
wow.
It's well, I mean, define real. It's an
Yeah.
illusion. It makes you
Yeah.
believe it. It looks real.
Yeah.
If the magician's done a good job, it looks real.
Now, illusion artists, for me, I've always been. I think they're awe-inspiring, because you watch and you think, how the hell did he do that? It's like your video. I watched, you told me it was your daughter that came out the box and you put the fire and the swords in. I mean, I don't want you to give away your secrets, but it's fantastic, you know.
Yeah, it's a good illusion, that one. But yeah, of course she does all the work, really.
Yeah, I can understand. How do you learn things like that, Michael, without having
Carefully.
injuries? Yeah.
Yeah, carefully. I think you've got to understand the illusion and the prop inside out, and you sort of like anything involving fire. You go
Yeah.
through dry runs, if you like, so you're rehearsing it without the fire to start with, anyway, and then you add the fire. Particularly if you're working with a new assistant, they could be scared of fire, so you know you need to build up their confidence in what you're doing and in you as well. So it could be a slow process learning illusions.
I can imagine.
You know, some people think, you know, when you're doing illusions that involve big boxes and things like that, you know, some people in the business think, well, you can just buy those and
Yeah.
just do it. Well, it's if only it was that simple. It takes a long process to get it together.
Have you had any mishaps?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I think anyone who performs live regularly over a period of time will have mishaps. I mean, I've had some burns before, bad burns.
Ooh.
My wife, who was my assistant for a long time, she had a couple of bad burns. You can get cuts from swords and blades. Even just things like, you know, loading and unloading the van, you can put your back
Yeah,
out.
true. You can. I've got drop shoulders for doing that. Listen,
Oh, yeah.
Michael, how do you get insurance for is it expensive? You know, to cover any of these public liability things that you do with fire and danger?
Well, I'm an equity member, so
Okay.
I'm covered for my public liability via equity, and they cover the fire as well. You used to have to pay a top-up fee, but now equity cover you for the fire as well.
Ah, yeah, I'm an equity member. I mean, years ago, I used to get loads of extra and walk-on work doing that, but I don't think it's as apparent as much now, is it? So,
There's a lot of extra work out there, or supporting artist work they call it now, don't
ah,
they? Essay work. So yeah, it's still out there. I don't think you need to be an equity member anymore, like
oh,
you used to do.
well, that's wrong, isn't it?
Well, I guess so. Yeah, it's. I mean, I think equity is great just for the protection and the public
Yes.
liability, and there are points of contact. Anything, you know, questions about contracts and anything, you can just phone up your local equity rep and have a conversation. And they've helped me many times, particularly with unpaid fees and things like that.
Wow, that's really good to hear. So, if you're not an equity member, you need to be.
Oh yeah, it's for what you pay.
Yes.
It's really good value, I think.
Yeah. Oh, there's another one. There's the Musicians Union, which is pretty similar as well.
Yes, my daughter's a member of the MU,
Yeah.
which is very similar.
It
So,
is, yeah. But I think for any artist out there, I think myself and Michael would highly recommend you having something like that. A, for the public liability, B, for the insurance for the gear. I know you have to pay a premium, but, it just covers you in so many ways, doesn't it, Michael?
oh, yeah, it certainly does. It's, as I say, I mean, just for the public liability, it's worth it,
Yeah, yeah,
It's just, some people don't think they need it, but I just say, if you've
yeah.
got a speaker and it falls over and hits somebody,
Oh, yeah.
you could be sued for thousands, and equity protect you over that. You've got your legal protection with equity as well, so they will advise you legally on any matters like that.
Well,
I've been a member since 1990, and I just think I would never not be a member.
no. Well, that's great. And that's what this showcase is all about, Michael, is learning from each other. People might, listen to your podcast and think, well, he's an intelligent man. He's been doing it years. I think about time I get equity.
Yes, yeah.
So,
and it's not as difficult to get now as it used to be.
No, yeah, filling in all the forms in and this, that, and the other.
Well, I think when I joined in 1990, you had to have one past contract, one current contract, and one future contract, all confirmed, all equity contracts as well, to be able to join. I think they've simplified the process now.
Oh, that's good to hear. Without giving your secrets away, where do you get your props from, or do you make them yourself?
I make some myself. There are illusion makers in the UK who will make things for you and make them to your design. Sometimes used props and apparatus come up, which you can buy if you know where to look. So there's a few different ways of getting your apparatus. I do make some. My dad was my dad was an artist, and he was really good at woodwork, so he could make stuff for me and paint it so it'd look fantastic. He designed all my logos and things early on as well. So, but yeah, a bit of everything really.
That's good. So do you have to have a big van to get it all in?
Oh yeah, I've got a very large, long wheelbase, high top van.
Have you really?
Got quite a big storage unit that keep my equipment in as well.
And do you always do the same show? Do you always differ it, or do people ask for specifics?
They don't tend to ask for specifics. Sometimes they'll say, because I use a lot of fire in my act, and some venues won't allow that, so I have to have an alternative available for that. But as I say, I do like variety, so I do an illusion show, I do a comedy magic show, I do some children's entertainment sometimes, and then I do the escapology and sideshow stuff, which is like stunts, fire eating, fire blowing, bed of nails, that sort of thing. So yeah. But those acts are
who lays on the nails?
I stand on the nails barefoot and hold somebody from the audience in my arms to increase the weight. So,
really?
Yeah.
How does that work? I mean, I've seen people lay on a bed of nails. I can understand laying on them if you're careful. They're not going to go through. But putting your weight on with your feet and holding somebody as well, what's to stop you going through the nails?
Well, I don't think you would go through the nails, but you are at risk of cutting your feet, and there's a lot of pain involved because when you lay on a bed of nails, you're spreading, like you said, spreading your weight over. So it's physics, really.
Yeah.
When you're standing on the nails, you've got, a long thing, which is you.
Yes.
Stood on the nails, and there's a lot of pressure going in on the soles of your feet. So there's a lot of, I used to do martial arts and Aikido when I was a teenager. So there's a lot of techniques I've learned from that to, suppress pain, that sort of thing. Yeah.
That's cool. And how far do you travel?
Anywhere internationally.
Really?
Mostly the UK, obviously, but I've worked in the States. I've worked in Finland, France, Spain.
How do you get your gear over to America then and things like that when you do?
Well, I don't take the big stuff over to America. It's mostly like fly-out stuff, just stuff that'll fit in my luggage.
Okay. What's the highlight of your career, Michael?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I've not reached that yet.
You're not at the pinnacle.
No. I've got a few years left in me. I don't know. I've done so many different things, really.
It sounds like you enjoy everything you do.
I do, yeah. I like traveling. I like meeting people. I particularly like working with other acts.
Okay.
So, yeah, I do like that. Yeah. I'd say the pinnacle of my career is my daughter was brought up in the business because my wife was a dancer and choreographer. And, you know, my daughter was born in a trunk, really, you know, 6 months old. She was in the back of the van in the car seat, you know, coming to gigs with us. So, and she's now a professional musician.
Wow.
She's got 2 singles out. Her next single comes out in May. So I suppose the highlight of my career is seeing how she's developed.
So does she sing and play guitar, or what does she do?
She's a singer-songwriter, but she plays piano mostly.
Wow.
She plays guitar as well and a bit of saxophone, but mostly main instrument's piano.
Let's get her on here, because songwriting is a really interesting topic at the moment. You know, I'm a songwriter, and trying to get over how you write your songs is everybody differs. So it'd be lovely to hear from her.
She'd
definitely
be up for that.
Yeah, I'm sure she would, because it's great promotional material, and now international bookers are seeing my showcase, which is what I wanted, you know, to happen. Michael, one last question I wanted to ask you. Would you do any cruise ship, or have you done any cruise ships?
I've not done a cruise as such. I've done the ferries quite a bit, which is a little bit different because you're doing the same show pretty much every night. I don't know. Cruises have never really appealed to me. I would never say no. I would never say never. But it's not something I've targeted as such. I've got a lot of friends who've done it. You know, I like to be active, so I don't know. The thought of maybe doing 1 show a week or 2 shows a week for 6 months, would I get bored? Possibly.
Who knows? Well, to the viewers, we've been chatting with Michael Diamond, who's a man of many talents: magic, children's entertainers, illusionist, comedy. What more could you ask for? The perfect entertainer. So if you are looking to book something big for your event, then I'm sure Michael is the right choice for you. All I ask is, do you have a YouTube, Michael? Yeah?
Yeah, I've got some YouTube, but you best go and via my website. I've got 2 websites, actually.
Well,
One
send me that.
It's www. and it's Michael Diamond, all one word, .co.uk, and that's the magic stuff. And then if you wanted to see the stunts and the sideshow stuff, that's www. again, and it's Dr. Diablo, which is spelt, so it's DOCTOR DIABLO, drdiablo.co.uk.
Fantastic. There you go. So if you want to book Mike, there's plenty of places that you can go to see his videos. Of course, you'll have seen the video at the beginning when I edit this, and there'll be one at the end. So I'd like to say, please watch this video all the way through. If you want, I'd like you also to comment. Let Mike know if you enjoyed his show. If you didn't, let him know, but I've never had that. So it's good to keep in touch, and it's good to support artists. So all I ask is the viewers to, comment on Mike's video, tell him if you enjoyed it. I'm sure that makes him feel fantastic, and I'm sure he'll respond to you. Again, if you want to book him, you can also book him from the YouTube website, The Showcase. So from me, Sean Martin at The Showcase, from Michael Diamond.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Enjoy the show.
Don't forget, thumbs up, share, and like, and subscribe. Thank you very much indeed.